All right, everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru, and I have the brother Josiah on with us. The topic this afternoon is going to be we're going to discuss Akoin. Now, I don't know if you guys know if you guys have been hiding under a rock. Akon is starting his own cryptocurrency, and Josiah, you can jump in at any time because I don't want to butcher this. But Akon is starting his own cryptocurrency. And basically, it's going to be centered around a super city, correct, Josiah?
Yes, sir. They call it smart city.
A smart city, right? So just and again, kind of guide me through this because I'm still learning more about it. The cryptocurrency is going to fund the smart city, or how does it work?
So Akon has the right idea. It's a lot of people that are into this area of study or IT vertical. However, majority of them are not of our descent. And that tends to be a problem where I don't want to use the word disadvantage. I just want to say lack of interest.
Josiah, not to cut you off. So you said you just brought up something. I was going to bring this up later, but I'll bring it up now. I went on Akon's website for Akoin, and he was the only black face on there as far as his team.
That's what I just said
about that. But go ahead.
That's what we're going through. So in the field, we are always the leaders in this kind of newer stuff. When you see a black person somewhere, he probably is the brain there. So that's the only condition under which the other people that don't like you will deal with you if you are very smart, brighter than them, and have something they don't have. Right now, Africa is the meat on the plate. And Akon is American born, but got fame out here and returning to the motherland, which seems to be the front of the world for the next eon, should I say. So Africa is the huge part of the emerging economy. Is the huge part of it. I think is the biggest part of the emerging economy. So the smart people who understands the dynamics in the world, how the economy moves around, are going in there, they're jumping the ship and they're getting over there. And they're claiming their stake right, left, center. And we, the people that came from there, when I say we the people, I mean, I don't care where you were born, as long as your skin complexion is dark, like mine, and you have the features that a lot of us do have, then you're a son of Africa. Time had separated us. It means nothing. Time can separate anything. Some people were separated from me by 400 years, others 200, many others 500. It doesn't really matter. But you have to know any tree without a root cannot last very long. I'm not the original person that actually uttered these words. These words came from Marcus Garvey. So I'm not the first person that ever said it. So it's time for people to connect to where they came from. That will help you. When the uprising, the people are raising these ideas, the new era of doing business, you have to come up with yours too. So we are not very well represented in these areas, but when one of us or two of us come up with these ideas, we should support them. If we look into it and see what they are trying to do, and if we can see that visibility in there, there's no reason why we shouldn't help it or be a part of the thing. It's like making history. That's what it's all about. However, I don't want to detour from the point that we're trying to bring across. So the Akoin is a good move. There's a lot of people with the mindset. There's a lot of people that have done a lot of work in that area, that have a lot of business plan in those verticals, because they understand the technology that's involved right there. So that's the key, understanding the technology that's involved. Once you understand the technology that is involved, then now you want to talk about the other aspects of it. However, you still have to make references references to the topics that arises out of it, like crypto for smart city in Africa.
Right.
Africa needs a smart city. That's not a bad thing. There's also crypto for innovations and data center innovation centers in Africa for Industry 4.0. You should think about that too. I've mentioned this in the past, and I'll keep harping harping on it till people get to understand it. And number two is, it is possible that one can invest in the crypto and all that is in it and look into all aspects of it as to how somebody can leverage their finances through this. So I'm not giving you a very financial advice, a very sound financial advice, because I'm not a financier. Neither am I a very well-known economist. So I'm only trying to bring to the attention of the general population, which includes people of my descent, people that share the same thing that I do. There's a possibility that one can help themselves leverage their financial situation by looking into this with a very um, judicious preview. Now, the third part is there's alternatives to blockchain. There's a lot of blockchain. There's a distributed ledger system. So basically, the world is moving to an era where everything will be decentralized, where everything will be autonomous, where your microwave you can tell your microwave machine when to turn on, what to cook for you, and it will do it. You can do the same thing with your coffee machine. Your refrigerator will tell you when things are running low, and it can actually place an order for you through Coben so that it can get refilled or whatever, or through any other services, people that do home delivery, they can do that. And that's where you have the drones working for you. So it's the Jetson age that we are going to. It's another industrial revolution right here. But our people need to understand this so they know how to plan, they know how to strategize, and they know how to plan. To be able to make plans, you have to have to be able to make decisions. You have to have plans. So that's the reason why I brought that. Number four is what we call ICOs. These are initial coin offering. When these people in the crypto world, when they come out at first, they'll have to do what we call initial coin offering. The initial coin offering they're doing today is fiat. It's not very legit. However, in the sense of we that are from somewhere, we can use the opportunity to build our place when we have a project, a big project, we can we can make the big project happen in amongst ourselves using all these technology that removes trust. Oh, I'm not gonna give my money to John because I don't know if John is gonna use the money for the right source. But this kind of technology eliminates that. You see, you can send, you can receive. You don't have to worry about trusting somebody anymore. It's trustless, and everything is transparent and very visible. However, only the parties that are involved in it can share that such information. That's the level of advancement that humans has gone in the technology. So I think our people should embrace this. This will help us rejuvenate the African in diaspora and African in the motherland. It will help the African in the diaspora to return. It will also pave a way for the Africans in the motherland to remain in the motherland. See, when you're building mammoth industrial projects that gives opportunity to people, not only for work, but when it's completed, the services that will be coming out of it. Not only that, it will host other things. It will be a source, a target, a place for people to come together and rub minds and come up with ideas to solve local problems. So that's a part of the ICO, which is, in other words, in layman's word, is crowdfunding. But in this case, the crowdfunding is not based on greed, where one person wants to take your money and raise an IPO that he takes to SEC. So in this sense, we make it communal, where we raise the fund, we put it in the project, and we sell the project as utility to anybody, anywhere in the world. That way, we distribute the funds from across the world down to the motherland where the projects are built. I've never seen any idea smarter than this.
Oh, really?
That's what Akon is doing. But many of us have thought about it, but nobody will support it. But Akon is a star. Imagine if I have a connection with Akon. The world would be ours. Right. He's a star. That's why you hear about it. But there's a lot of people that's been working on this for years because they're not millionaires. They're not white folks. It takes a little while. Take for example, the brother Sembe you hooked me up with. The brother is smart. but
Yeah.
it ain't going nowhere.
Why do you say that?
It ain't going nowhere because the support is not there. He's working really hard. The support is not there. There's not a lot of people that does what he's doing that looks like him. If there are, they're not cooperating with him to help him grow. That's a problem. In Akon's case, he's a star. Everybody wants to legitimize what they're doing with him. That's why you see all those folks around him, because he represents a lot of money. He represents the new frontier. He also represents a celebrity from the United States of America.
Right.
Everybody want to legitimize what they are doing, but the technology that they are working on is based on greed. But Akon, he knows that. But guess what he did? Okay, we get all you guys money. We build this stuff in Africa. I have a lot of respect for him. That's the same thing a lot of us are doing. But the support is minimalistic. But if our people come together as an army and have the mind of a herd, we can achieve some of these goals so quick, so fast. It's just $1, $10, $5 out of 1,000,000 people. Do you know how much that is?
Right.
And then the money is put towards a project, and the project is sold back to the people that bought it from time to time as a utility, not as a security. Check this out. It's sold as a utility. So if you have a mammoth project like a data center, which is about $3,000 per square foot, based on the calculations that, people in the business, they understand what I'm trying to say. If you've been in real estate before, you understand how a square foot is sold. But this one is a data center. The square foot is more expensive because you are factoring all the machines, facility, everything, logistics, full whammy, a period of 5 years, all the heavy machines that you need for it, power source, many stuff, backup supplies, power stations, and all of that. So when you calculate the cost, you're looking at maybe $3,000 or $3,500 per square foot. So we engage in this kind of projects, which will cost you maybe $400 million to build this kind of projects. This project will have a data center. It will have like a workplace. I mean, like a little what you call it? Pretty much a workplace for like building stuff. You have 3D machines in there. You have stores to sell electronic items. You have a place to for people to meet, like a seminar center. You have a conference area. You have actually a power station, like using solar panels or maybe wind or whatever, any other kind of turbine, maybe hydroelectric system and all that. These are some of the projects we have to be targeting, looking at strategic areas in Africa, not a particular country, but we look at the area, we raise this kind of money, which is a new generation of money. We target that, we build that, we sell the stuff as utility. Already the initial people that started it off already have a part of the utility, which keeps making money from based on the mathematics, not on the fiat money, where group of people come together and write some codes and say, oh, this money was this. That's based on greed. It's gonna crash. It's a bubble. It's gonna, like, you go poof. It's gonna go poof. But the African way of doing it is the one that stays and stabilizes when it's fully converged. So we have to start thinking about these things. I'm not telling you guys stories. These are things that are happening right now. I know many of you have heard of Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and the likes of them. Bitcoin Cash. These are real. You can really make a lot of money with that. Over one single weekend, you can make a lot of money to pay some of your debt in your lifetime if you know what you're doing. So that's just that. So let's talk about the number 5. Not in full. We're just going through what we're going to talk about. So we have the funds that could be generated from it. The each individual who is a part of it can be able to come up with something substantial during that lifetime of theirs. One can use it to raise funds. You can use this to raise funds for your daughter or your son in college. Say you contributed money for a certain project, you gave $100 over 5 years. You're looking at $10,000, $15,000. That will help you to do stuff in your family for your children, and that's another part of it we have to look into. So another thing is this opportunity gives the African community, African people that are involved in it, the bargaining chip in dealing with stronger nations, technologically stronger nations. So these nations are getting ready to offload some of their work, labor intensive work to other places. So if we have places like this, innovation centers, that will make the load lighter on us. So we have a bargaining chip to deal with them because we have some piece of technology and information, which is very vital for this era. We have that information. Information, if you have it, you can claim a stake in the future and the way the world move around. So if dominating a region, information wise, is actually a good thing.
Let's get the likes up in the chat room, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I will try to get Dr. Mumbi on the show as well, Admiral. But brother, this is my question for you. So a smart city, right? Are local Africans, are they going to be able to, is this smart city going to benefit them? And are they going to be able to afford living in a smart city? Like, who is this smart city really for? Is it for Europeans? Is it for non-Black expats or expats in general? Or is this something that Senegalese will benefit from?
Based from what I understand,
because I know they're going to have a lot of sorry about that, live work spaces, condos, and all that other stuff, housing. But who's this smart city really for?
Oh, the smart city, from the way I understand the technology and what I know about this kind of technology, is smart cities for everybody. The thing is, it plays to the advantage of the Africans. Okay, the reason why I say that is most of the money, the strongest economy, and they are not where we come from. Although the resources are there, we have the resources, we are the richest in the world, but it's not converted to what the world understands to be wealth in the sense of liquidity and all the other financial jargons that they use. Yes, they do print money, but the sense of it is that the so-called civilized part of the globe, they have everything. Okay, so who are the people that are going to contribute to this? It doesn't necessarily mean that the so-called civilized are going to contribute to it, but it simply means that a chunk of the funding will come from there as well. And then the diasporans will be the ones that will be hugely involved in it. And the African, the motherland, would then follow suit. However, when you develop this kind of cities, the cities for everybody, and remember, these cities are not expensive anymore because the newer technology is supposed to bring comfort to human life. You know, the newer technology is not supposed to be expensive. I'll give you an example. Now, today, you might have a $250,000 home. Right. I might have the same or whatever. But when the smart city is built, guess what? The $250,000 home end up being like maybe $50,000 home. Because if you're 40 years old and I tell you to come give me $50,000, live in this house for 50 years, you would do it. Why? Why would you do it? Because this house has a refrigerator that can talk to you. It has a door that you can open up with your phone, with maybe your voice. You can ask the door to open up using Alexa. You can turn the light off that way. The house knows you are in the house. It will say welcome to you, and it will tell you, oh, are you ask you if you're tired, and if you're not, it will actually ask you that. It will bring like a hot bucket of water for you to soak your feet in there, and it will have a robot telling you welcome, sit on the left. You have email Do you want me to read them? Why would you buy a home like that? A home that will actually wake your kids up, wake you up, and get your coffee ready for you. And you knows exactly what time to get it ready. The robot brings it to you, and then it tells your kids the bus is out there to pick them up, and that bus is not driven by anybody. It's so funny the way things are going, but the technology is here, and we can use it. Why does this benefit Africans the most? Because Africans, we haven't done any major infrastructure development. America's not going to destroy what they already built to build another one. They're not going to make the whole infrastructure. They're not going to make them disappear poof overnight and build a new one. It doesn't work like that. So it benefits us. Now, the city is not for anybody else but those people that wants to live in it. It could be anyone, okay, that wants to live in it. It gets sold to them, and they live in it. And there are many other people that are part of these smart cities that don't live in it. To them, it's a utility that makes money for them. Just like you have you sign up with an electric company for electricity. However, you have a renewable solar panels on top of your roof. So you are using the electricity from the power station. However, your renewable system is the array of solar panels that you have is kicking back to the grid. And that's extra paycheck for you. That's the way it is. This is where we're going. So we have to take tape to it and realize that these are the kind of technology that starts off with the principle. The principle now will bear children, and the children will now bear children. You see, so everything is grandfathered or grandmothered or whatever. It continues like that. There's no end to it. Therefore, because of the nature of it, what we see is going to be a market density, market force density for any of these cryptos that come about. The first generation crypto, like blockchain, these are the first generation. They had a lot of issues. They are changing now. Now we are moving to distributed ledger system. These are the birth of the technology is by Satoshi Nakamoto. He proposed the idea, but there are many other people with the idea. Some of us wanted to sell our ideas or patent them, which we did get. We don't want to broadcast this because of our background, and we don't want to broadcast this because we wanted it to benefit the people that need it the most. However, the people that have the most money started broadcasting it and using it, and then we watched it. Over the years, it changed. When you hear about the blockchain technology, the past 5 or whatever so years, it's been around for over 15 years, believe it or not.
Right. Oh, wow.
It's been around for over 15 years. But it's just that it wasn't mature enough because the people haven't adopted the cloud, and people haven't adopted so much stuff that will make that technology mature. Once it matured, everybody came up with what they got. So we are equally in the same track, but we're in a stealth mode, and we want to gradually move, tactfully and strategically move until we launch. And we are trying the best that we can to make it very well known amongst the people that need to know what it's for, because this is not based on greed to make money quickly. It's based on moving infrastructure to where they're needed the most. Imagine building all these mammoth infrastructures in African regions, strategic African locations, to help the younger ones not to leave their country and stay there and develop their country, because the hope is being given to them. Today's world is a world where computers run things. So knowing how to write these codes and develop them and build machines, robots to start with, to develop things and become a maker nation is very important to the Africans and people of African descent. You have to be a maker nation to get out of your situation. You can't expect somebody else to make for you technology-wise. You have to grow in the brain. You have to grow in the brain and make your mind stronger in everything that you do. Akon is not a coder, but he has the vision. He saw. There are many other Black folks. Jay-Z is there. Kanye West is there. But none of them saw what Akon saw. Akon saw the thing. He knew it was the way to go. He got involved with the real coders, and they're doing their thing. So I want everybody to support the project, what they're doing. It doesn't matter who is doing it, because the intention is good. you need to support it. Doesn't matter if it's me or Akon or whatever. And one of the ways one of the things that can guide you in knowing what an ICO that's legit or not is checking out who is in the development. Checking out who is in the leadership, checking out who if they have a development team, if they have an ICO, how is the money generated, how is the token valued. You check those things. If they don't have any clear explanation of how the token is generated, then it's get money quick kind of strategy. If they don't have any tangible backing of the money, then it's one of those quick get money quick, like the Bitcoin and the rest of them. These are get money quick. There's none of them that's backed up by any tangible project. What Akon has is the way to go. That's the same way I have it. I actually have a mathematical formula that tells you how to do the ICO and how you can raise the money and actually get the proper value for the tokens that you're going to make available to people. If there's an ICO without a white paper, don't get involved in it. You need to know what's in the white paper. You need to go step.
That's you just made a great point. I wonder if Akon has a white paper. Let me look it up real quick.
You need to look for his white paper. You need to know how. Another thing is if the money is capped, stay away from it. Is to get money quick. If the money is capped, like Bitcoin is capped at 22 billion, what does that tell us? When did the market, supply and demand, when is it capped? Whenever in economics did anybody cap them? Supply and demand are the unseen hand of any economy, especially what they call the macro economy, right? Hey, for those of you that did economics in school.
So I don't think Akon has a white paper. I'm on his site. Let me see if I can go ahead. Let me see if I can hunt it down.
So some people might be leveraging the fact that he's a celebrity, he's known, he's from the new frontier, to take advantage and give him money for it. I don't know. Don't quote me. I'm not saying anything, but I'm proud of what he's doing.
I'm gonna post a link in the chat room. I found his white paper. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that, you guys.
I'm proud of what is. When you look at the white paper, check how the token values come about. The reason why I'm saying that, check how the token value come about. A token value had to be based on something tangible. Before my forefathers, even came about, people were using gold, right? People were using gold for money, right? So how all of a sudden can somebody come up and say, okay, I have an ICO, I'm going to offer people these tokens for one token is $35. One token is $6,000. That's a voodoo economics. What I mean by voodoo economics, I'm not talking about African religion. I'm talking voodoo in the sense of the dictionary meaning. It's magical, right? That's a magic number. For those of you in computer science, magic number doesn't worth anything. How can you come up and say a token value is $6,000? Where did you get that from? You see, you're building a castle in the cloud, or in a sound, whatever that is. So it's not gonna stabilize. If it does stabilize, it's gonna be very volatile, meaning it's gonna be going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So that doesn't make for a stable economy. It makes for inflation and hyperinflation. I'm not an economist now, don't quote me wrong, but I'm using my common sense. So any market has to have market force density. For example, BMWs, Mercedes, these cars have their status symbol. People drive them. Even if they're hungry, they're driving them. I'm not saying other people don't drive other cars even if they're hungry. What I mean, these are status symbol cars that everybody knows that they sell. Infiniti, they sell. Lexus, they sell. Each of these cars that I mentioned and the brand name has their market force density. Any ICO or technology based on blockchain that's using any vertical should also reflect the market force density of that vertical. And a token cannot come up and equal to cash. No, a token has to be derived from things that are tangible. That's why I like the idea of smart city. The smart city has a cost. See where I'm coming from? If you spread the cost of the smart city through ICO, now I understand what the value of the token is, what it's going to be. If I raise an ICO, if the city is going to cost me 4 billion, I raise an ICO of 1 billion, that means I have 0.25% of the whole project. So I have a ratio, 0.25. Then with that value of 0.25, I calculate the number of people that gave me the money. I divided by the money that they gave me. What do? I use that to multiply the ratio. What do I get? I get an ICO. See where I'm coming from? So now the value of the token now, what do? You divide by the dollar amount that each individual gave, you get the token value. You can't just come and make up money. So when you read the white paper, check and see where it talks about the token, the value of the token, how they're going to derive the initial value of the token. Also, pay attention to whether they capped all the money that could be printed, all the money that could be derived for that vertical. If they capped it, you need to stay away from that. Okay? So what you're looking for is an ICO. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. I think Always Ready 24/7. I haven't looked at the white paper, but I think Always Ready did. And Always, please chime in. I just want to make sure I'm reading you right. I think it's capped at 21 million, and the last coin will be created in 2041. Always Ready, please just respond and let me know. Are you speaking in regards to the Akoin? Is that from the white paper of the Akoin? All right, go ahead, Josiah.
Okay, what I'm speaking of is based on the technology and my understanding of the technology as one of the first people that have gotten a certification in blockchain technology in the United States of America. That means the world. Bottom line, there's no other way to put it. Okay, I was grandfathered into the certification, so people in the field know what that means. So I'm speaking with authority here now. I'm saying when you are checking out an ICO to invest in, check their white paper. Number one, if you're satisfied with their white paper, check their leadership team. Number two, you have to make sure the leadership team has been in the security industry for a long time. They're not 20, 30-year-old kids running around trying to make money. They had to be older individuals who have been in the industry. And you can check their LinkedIn profile to be sure of who they are. Because you don't want to take your money and put it in somewhere that you don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to check if they have a development team as well. You have to check for their roadmap, 3-5 years roadmap that they have for their development. You have to check their annual milestones. Okay? The timeline for some of the projects are milestone in a high level. You need to check all these things. That's what I'm saying. It's not only for Akon's product, any product in this newer technology that we call the Internet of Things or Internet of Things of values. So we are attaching values to things that you cannot see. We are telling you, I'm going to take this house, I'm going to tokenize your house. It has a value in the virtual world. And that value, I can map it back to the real world. That's basically what we're doing. We're taking everything, mapping into the virtual world because of the technology we have that can make sure that it is what it is. You can't lie to me about it because I can grab a lot of physiological information about you and other information that, attaches you to those, whether it's a smart contract, whether it's, cryptocurrency or whatever. So these technologies, they're out there. So I'm just outlining one of the things you have to look at. Also, make sure that if you're invested in this, the money is not capped. So when you cap something, it tells me that you're going outside the true economics of things. In economics, you don't cap the amount of money that could be made. Human needs are insatiable, so much so the money that humans can make. So when you cap it, you create an opportunity to play in that market. That's what they're doing. Is based on greed. The Africans can take it and make it what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a trade by barter system, but this time, this trade by barter is done virtually, it's digitized. All trade systems started with trade by barter, and it's still trade by barter. But now we're trying to bring the trade by barter to what it's supposed to be. That simply means if you have a house in Japan and I have a house in Africa, you decided, let's swap the house. If your house is good for me and mine is good for you, yeah, we can do it without me seeing it. See, coming to Japan or you come into Africa. All we have to do is smart contract, all of that stuff. Funai, yes. Smart transaction, smart what have you, it's all done because you have an international profile or global profile or universal profile that attaches you to everything you own. So with that, it's trustless, but trust is done in a secure manner. So we allow the codes to create a channel of trust, which is non-repudiating. You can't say it wasn't you because your fingerprint is attached to the tools that made it possible for the transaction to happen. No, this is not funny. Very soon, people on Facebook will be talking to their friends when nobody else can see what they're saying, even if somebody hacked into it. Thanks to the new technology, man. All these are possible. So that's what we talk about. So when you try to invest in some of this technology, these are some of the things that you have to look into. Okay. And if you can support more of technology that's helping where the need is needed the most, it's called helping the needy. More grease to your elbow. And you're not going to lose any money if you support the right technology in the right things. As a fighter of justice, you're not going to lose any money. Okay, it doesn't mean that everything is bulletproof. You still have to, be cautious, basically.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. Let's see who else we have in the chat room. Oh, first of all, thank you for the super chats. Keisha Washington, thank you for the super chat. Information Man Show. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson as well. Thank you guys for super chatting and supporting us. Somebody in the chat room says this seems like a money grab. What are your thoughts on that? Aren't all ICOs a money grab? Like in some, aren't they all money grabs somewhat? Nadup, how you doing? Aren't they?
Yeah. Majority of the ICOs are money grabs. That's why you see the FBI and the rest of them looking into investigating plenty of them that are not compliant. Right. But we have standards. Like I said before, look into ICOs like the one Akon is doing. But I don't know if Akon is actually doing this to build the smart city or using the smart city to grab money. If you listen to me carefully, you have to note that the way I'm talking about this is very restrained.
I'm restrained. Give us the real
details of how he's running his thing. But I'm going to speak objectively. When an ICO is capped, to me, I smell rat. Because in economics, you cannot cap the amount of money that could be made. I have posted this in my LinkedIn page, and I have supplied the reason why, and I have given the mathematics on my LinkedIn page of how a token must be derived to achieve the goal that we want. It's something that I put out there because I'm letting people know, hey, look, man, in economics, you cannot come and say the whole world is going to make 22 billion. That's a horse. You created an opportunity to rip people off. Okay? That's what it is. How is the returns made? How do the people's money jump from 100 to 6,600 or whatever? I need to know. I need to see it. So do you. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It seems to me like it's like a bubble that's going to bust. So beware. Put your money in ICOs that are connected to things like they are selling utility. They are selling real estate as a utility. They have a real thing that they are doing that's backing the ICO up. Just don't go and say, oh, I see a white paper. Oh, he has a white paper. Oh, he has this. So let me just go and put my money. You can do that, but you have to be careful and know when to put your money out. But I support any ICO that brings about development where they are needed the most. That's what I support. Majority of them are money grabs, like the person in the audience, like they stated. They are. That's why FBI are looking into a lot of them. A lot of these ICOs are under investigation. Most of them are not within regulations. That's why you have the Howey test for ICOs. You have the SAF document that's specifying how it should be done and all that stuff. It's not regulated at this time as it's supposed to. It's a free playing ground, and I think some of us that know the technology should pounce, get into it, and do well. And majority of us that don't know it should support it and see it grow, especially the ones that are bringing about innovation in where they're needed the most. We should invest in those.
Somebody in the chat room asked or made the statement. In fact, let me correct something first. Here we go. ICO sales, the Akoin ICO sales will commence on the 2nd of July to the 6th, which I guess that got delayed, of August. Okay, I'm sorry. Will commence on the 2nd of July to the 6th of August, 2018, with 556 Acoins for 90 cents. Pre-ICO sales, the Akoin pre-ICO sales commences on the 18th of June. Okay, that must be old. Here we go. Private sale, the Akoin. We will be offering 625 million coins at 40-cent rate to a few select individuals and companies before the ICO commences on 29th of June 2019. That does
those are volunteer participants. They give it to their friends and companies that they know. These are volunteer participants. They also have foster financial for fostering new startups and all that. There's a lot of twists to how it's done. But however, I had already highlighted one of the red flags that you have to look into. If you want an ICO that will be stretched over a period of time without any kind of bursting, you have to look for ones that are backed up by tangible things. If they're not backed up by tangible things, it's like a supernova. They move really fast and they disappear.
And then also someone asked the question, look at who Akon has on his team and what percentage of the coins are going to be sold versus being kept by the team. Be careful because while we are buying, they may be selling. Can you expand on that?
Whoever asked that question is very, very intelligent. You can't fool that human being. Yes, I agree with him. You know why? When you read the white paper, if the white paper states that the employees are getting over 30% or 35%, run. If the white paper doesn't state like 25% for research and development, run. That tells you they are not going to last for a long time. If the white paper doesn't have anything for future, again, run. If the research doesn't have anything for foundation, run again. So if the research doesn't have anything for startups and foundation and millennial and all that, run, because millennial are the future of every business, especially this kind of businesses. So these are some of the stuff that you have to look into. Like I said, I've said it before. Majority of the ICOs are money grabbing schemes. But I'm telling you, some of the ICOs that are needed will be the ones that are helping when the need is greater. You have to do the need. If they are building projects in Africa, invest in them. But check carefully for all these features that I've been mentioning. It has to be a transparency. If it's a development project, make sure you see the paperwork for the land. Make sure you see the outline, the roadmap for that development project. Most of the time, you're gonna see the blueprint of the development program project stamped by the government of that country or whatever. And you're also gonna see stuff like the roadmap, what's gonna be built in the first year, second year. They'll have to be updating the people through video and all that of this development. Okay, so these are the nice way of doing things. People have cooked it up. They come up with a better way of doing things from watching what others have done over years. What we see here is greed, human greed, that bring about these great things that we see here. But we can take this back and do it the way it's supposed to be to benefit people. Only then you can rise.
Doug in the chat room has a question. He says, let me get back. Question: if there is no cap, will there be problems like inflation, like the U.S. reserves printing money at will?
There will be no inflation. If you check my LinkedIn profile, check my math, you will see from the math there's no inflation. You do the first ICO, that's when you derive the value for the tokens. You do the second ICO, you derive another based on the number of people that crowdfunded you. You derive another value for the token. Now you add, if you are part of the first initial coin offering, there's no forking, none of that, no mining, none of that. You have to add the token value to your previous token. That gives you a leverage. At the end of the day, you're getting like 66% of your stuff. But go check what they have today. People are getting 1,000% of their token value. What kind of business is that? Where is the market? Where is the market force density? Where is the market force density? How can I tell this car from the sales that is BMW? How can I tell from the sales volume that this is Mercedes? We have to develop that for all these ICOs. That's how we can smell rat in them. Okay? When the volume is so high that everybody's buying, nobody's selling. Aren't you smart? Can't you tell something is wrong? Nobody's selling. They're all keeping their stuff. Why? Because at the beginning of the technology, they got a lot of them through mining. And this thing appraised so much through the SEC, the people, the unseen hands in the market made it the way it is. The people that have all sort of illegal money pumped it in, they are not selling. We are not stupid. We know what they're doing.
See what else we have in the shout out to Reno, because Senegal be our host country. Well, I mean, Akon's building, that's where the smart cities being built in Senegal. So I don't know. Invest in Akoin, I guess. What else do we have here? Okay, according to the white paper, the team is getting 10%. What are your thoughts on that?
The team is getting only 10%?
That's what it says. According to the white paper, the team is getting 10%.
Why 10%?
I don't know. I haven't read the white paper yet, but that's what somebody.
It doesn't look bad to me. It looks good. However, why 10%? I don't know. So what else is going on? Who else is getting what? How much money do they have in research and development?
I don't know. What's brother Motown Investors reading the white paper right now, so I'm sure he'll get back to us.
So let him keep shooting it. Let him keep shooting it at me, and I will be interpreting the whole thing for everybody. So let him keep giving us what he has in there, so we can interpret it, so people can understand what this is all about.
Now, people are saying that it's very expensive. At 40 cent to 90 cent per coin for ICO, that's high. What are your thoughts on that?
They're saying 40 cents per lock coin is high?
Yeah, for ICO. Yeah, they're saying that's a lot.
40 cents is not high.
You don't
Why
think
are they saying that? It's like penny stock.
They're going for like 0.0000009 cent.
No, I don't think so. 40 cents is pretty good. It's not bad. It's not bad. For all the people that bought Akon's money, trust me, because of who he is, you're gonna make money. But what I'm afraid of is if what he's trying to do with the money is what's gonna be done with the money. I haven't read his white paper. I'm sorry, guys. I have a lot of documents that I read.
I'll send the link.
I haven't read it. If you send me, I will understand through the language that he uses. I can even tell who wrote the paper because there are a few people that write these papers. I know some of them. So I'll read the paper and I'll interpret it. But I tell you one thing though. If you invest in Akon's project, you will make money. Because Akon is as good as money. That's all I have to say. I don't know. He bought a $19 million land in Senegal.
Yeah.
I don't know what his team is doing, but if people can see that document of that land and the topography of the land over through satellite, over Google, they will give him money. And that's how you make money because they have to evaluate the token based on the sales, not really sales, the funds that come in. I don't know their math, but like I told you guys before, what I'm doing is based on the cost of the project. That's how I derive the token value. Because you are giving the money already. Everybody's not gonna give $100. Some people are gonna give $1 million. Some people are gonna give $50 or whatever, $1, $2, whatever. I don't have a minimum, a max of what you can give. So by doing it, so you empower the individuals and their money get distributed after you go through the token count and everything. The people that have a dollar might end up having a token value that's really high. You'll be shocked because the money was moved across everybody else as a unit. I don't see how you can get a hyperinflation or inflation through this process. I don't see it. But when you cap the money, you can get inflation. Or you get in a situation where things are moving really fast. It's bullish market. Everybody's holding their stuff. Nobody's selling because they're anticipating that it will go high. But they don't understand it's not going to go high because there are newer technologies coming out that are fixing the problems the old ones has. Do you guys know that Litecoin came before what am I call it? Bitcoin.
Really, I didn't know that.
Litecoin came before Bitcoin. People don't know that. So the longer you stay in the game, you lose your value, especially for the ICOs that are not based on anything tangible. Why you think Akon moved to this direction? Because he understands the game. The longer you stay, you lose your value because it's based on nothing. People will jump into one that has better technology because the game started with the better technology. Now you got a better technology and you're a tangible product. Where do you think people will go to? That's a question.
Right.
Where do you think people will go to now? Now people are having more understanding of what FCOs are. I have just educated people on reading the white papers. You know what I'm saying? I have just informed them, hey, read the white papers. Okay, read the white papers. See what I'm saying? So that's how it is.
All right. So according to the white paper, Akon Crypto City is built on 2,000 acres, will be built on 2,000 acres of land gifted to Akon from the president of Senegal. Yeah, I read that part. It's right by the new airport. Yeah. So, I mean, it looks promising.
It looks, like I said, it looks promising. If you put money in there, you will get money. And I stand by those words. If you put money in Akon, you will get money. I don't think you will lose on that, but the duration or period of time that you will get that money till you get bullish, I don't know. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, then it get bullish. So you buy it, you don't sell it, you wait and wait. It keeps going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Don't forget, it's capped at 21 million, right? You capped at 21 million. What is
it was capped at, it was capped at something else. Hold on one second. Hold on, let me go back up.
So even if it's capped at 21 million, let's say it's capped at 21 million, and he brings it out, a very rich Jewish person puts half of the whole cryptocurrency out there in the market. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, that says right here from the white paper, total supply 6 billion, circulating supply 1.6 billion. Akoin. Is that the
Circulating, I'm looking at the circulating supply, but when it's fully converged, it will be 6 billion. So that would take, he expanded it. It would take a very long time, maybe 30, 40 years to get to the 6 billion. 1.6, we don't know when it's going to get. It might be a year, 2 years. What if a very rich Jewish person puts all that money in there and buys the whole thing out? What happens next? That's how they've been doing it. You see, once they buy it out, it goes down. They buy more. They buy everything out. Once it goes down, people buy. The token value goes up. The Jewish guy makes money.
right?
Everybody makes money too. But the people that bought it when it came, the people that bought it just exactly before it came down, they might lose a little bit of money, but then they'll make money. So that's the game. It's a game. But Africa cannot succeed with this kind of game in Africa. We have to do legit stuff, to build stuff, and let what we build become the parent, the principal fund that bears fruits. We can't base Africa, I've said this too many times, based on what the way they are doing things here. Africa is gonna breed bad stuff for us. We have to do stuff that are stable, that flows naturally, just like water. I believe that any ICO should be able to flow just like water. Water is natural, embraces everything. When the volume is large, it's large. When the volume is small or the area is constricted, it constricts. It should flow like water, just like the water embraces the whole globe and covers it up. A better ICO should be able to do that. If it doesn't do that, it's greed. The only thing that I think should affect an ICO is natural disaster. War, natural disaster, or stuff like that. Not unseen hands. Because the technology is built to remove unseen hands. I'll give you an example. I talked about the real estate in Japan and Africa. Right. How about me and you are just talking? I just saw something you posted on Craigslist or on Facebook, like a shoe. And I texted you on Facebook. I said, man, I like that shoe. I want to buy it. You said, how much do you have? I said, I have 2 Akoin. You said, no, I want 2.5 Akoin. I said, okay, let's settle on 2.1 Akoin. You say, okay, good deal. It's a done deal. I just sent through my phone the money to you. You received it, verify yourself, and you deliver my shoe to me. That's what we are talking about. You don't need to see me. You don't need to meet me nowhere. If you don't deliver the shoe for me, we know who you are because you have a profile built in our system. It's like a phone book for the whole world. We have that. Your fingerprint, everything is in there. It's tied to you. Authorship through Google. All of that. We got it. So for sure, you're going to deliver the shoe to me. Because if you don't, you have the same Akoin account that I have, you get penalized. We get the money from you anyway.
Right.
So we can't build this technology in Africa just like they build it here. No. That's not how Africa rolls. Africa does stuff. The word is the bond. You can't build stuff based on greed and ripping people off. No, it won't work. It's just going to put us in another corner after we've got out of too many corners. We don't want to be in too many corners anymore. We just want to grow and rise up. So we have to do things in a transparent and visible manner.
See what else we got here in the chat room. Somebody says, remember Akon's electricity scheme? Has he paid the chimney their $1 billion back yet? Is he using this? Oh shit. Okay. So you know, when he was lighting out Akon lighting Africa, he took out a loan from the Chinese.
Wow.
So he's asking, do you think he's using this Akoin to raise money to pay off that loan?
I think anything is possible. I think he can use this ICO to raise a lot of funds to do many things, including the debt that he owes. But you know how things are done in the globe today? You have to be legit. I'm sure he's legit in what he's doing.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here in the chat room. I mean, you never know. The Chinese, sorry, it was spell check, no problem. Yeah, and like Blacks versus Everybody says, this coin should be selling for under a penny, especially with that many coins. That's how it usually works. Because he's selling his for 40 cents, 40 to 90 cents.
Wow.
At the ICO.
This guy has a lot of vision, man. This guy can be the next Elon Musk, the way I see him. I don't know what's in his brain, but I can see the kind of thought process that was put in here. It's not a joke.
All right, let's see what else we got in the chat room. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. So the president of Senegal gifted him 2,000 acres. What do you think the reasoning behind that is? That's a lot of land to just give.
First of all, I don't know. I don't have a proof if it was real. However, right. Africa is being peppered by infrastructure, lack of infrastructure, and this guy Akon shows up at the door of the president, and he's iconoclastic, and he's well known. I don't think he will bat his eyes twice for giving him that land. He would just give it to him. Whatever he wants, they'll just give to him. That's the way I look at it. He has that influence to get money from the Chinese, and it's difficult to get money from the Chinese. And he did got them some money from them. So the president is looking at it like this is the light for them. It's a hope, a ray of light and hope for them.
Right.
So what he did was give him the land and say, okay, you sold me. You told me what you plan to do is the technology that is needed in Africa, which has numerous verticals. You know, you can use ICO for legal, for health, for whatever. You see? So it's an industry. So they gave him the land. I wish, everything he's doing works well for him, and it will be the first in Africa, That would be great. It would be a good thing.
Let's see what else we got here. He says, good for him. White folks and Chinese will buy up the currency and black folks will be upset again. What are your thoughts on that comment?
No, that's not how it works. All you have to do, get an Akon's application and buy it. If you have $1, put in it. It's for the whole world.
Right.
Crypto is not. Crypto is agnostic. It is very agnostic. It doesn't see your color because remember, nobody's going to come into your house to ask you for anything. Right. Akon is smart, man. That's all I can tell you guys. I don't need to expatiate on it. I've seen what he's done. When I tell you, believe you me, because I see what he did. He didn't do it like every other person has done it. He did this differently. It seems like he copied my stuff. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But it's good. Trust me. The only thing is the technology is based on is just the same thing everybody else is using. That's what I'm worried about. For instance, the system that we use is not capped. We don't do mining. We don't believe in some of the stuff that they're doing. So we took a detour to a different direction. So we more like a distributed system, peer-to-peer. We upload data every now and then, and it's visible. But the transparency is between the people that are involved in it. It's like if me and you have sales, it's between me and you. You know it, I know it. I don't need to involve any third party. If you involve any third party, then it's not a decentralized system. And it's not what it's supposed to be. It should be between the two people that are involved in it.
Let me look something up real quick. Hold on. Let's see something.
I just saw his team, though. I think his team looks okay to me. He has, I think he has the right people he's supposed to have, I guess.
Okay.
He has a woman there, too, which is not bad.
All right, let's see here. I'm trying to think what else.
There's actually a big hype, I hope it works well for him. It's good. Awesome.
All right, perfect, bro. Let's see. Anything else you want to share? What we'll do, we'll go ahead and, unless you got more, I mean, we can stay on as long as you want.
Really,
But I'm gonna say this. I'm going to invest in the coin.
I think you should.
I'm gonna buy some coin. I'm gonna when the coin goes, when the ICO is released. I mean, why not? I mean, I'll blow money on bullshit.
No, we should be the first people to buy this coin. Mm-hmm. If you have Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, why wouldn't you buy Akon at 40 cents? Just put $100 on there. Mm-hmm. In a year's time, let's see what it turns out to be. Hey, stop. In a year's time, we'll see what it turns out to be.
Yeah.
And when I'm ready to get my mine out, I'll do the same thing I posted out here. I encourage you guys to contribute in it. Read the white paper and see if some of the things that I'm talking about, if it makes sense. And you decide for yourself what you want to do.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
I think we should invest in this. We should invest in this. There's no reason why we shouldn't.
Bell wants to know, bigger question is, did African investors want to invest in this? They didn't want to invest in his solar project. So basically what she's saying is he couldn't get Africans to invest, but Chinese had no problem letting him some money.
Chinese wants the African market, people.
True.
Chinese wants the African man. I went to Akon's website. Some of the stuff that I have, he just thinks, well, yeah, he has a great team, I guess. He shows the relationship right there, and then it. That's amazing. More grease to disable. Mm-hmm. This is great. He's way ahead of the other brother that we talked about. He's ahead. Mm-hmm. His game is kind of tight.
Yeah, but of course, Akon, he has the resources. So
he has the resources.
Yeah, Yeah, he has the resources. So that's, you have to take that in consideration as well. But yeah, brother. Well, Josiah, man, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I know we were supposed to do this earlier in the week, last week, but we got you on. We finally got you. So, brother, thank you for joining us. Anything else you want to share in closing? Also, if you want people to get in contact with you, give them your contact information.
I really don't have much, but I really want to thank the people for listening and using the bit of the time that they had to listen to what I had to say. And I encourage you to keep listening, and everybody else to keep listening and look into some of the ways that we can actually raise the homeland, the motherland, through technology and being a machination. And this coin that Akon brought out, don't look at it as a negative thing. As a technologist, I'm going to speak in an objective sense of it, but you have to make the call. I think it's a wise thing to support your own. Even if you put $1, do it. You really have nothing to lose. It will rise because of who Akon is and what he stands for around the globe. This thing will make you some money. Forget about what the technology is based on, but that's something we have to deal with later on. Everything has a window of improvement. So some of the technology that will be used in Africa will not be susceptible to some of the weaknesses that we've seen over here that brings about the greed and the need for humans to control others. The technology that will be fit for Africa will be one that removes injustice, which is impossible for humans. However, we have to make it in such a way that the criminal activities had to be minimalized. Okay? So we invest in indigenous technology, and we invest and we'll listen to our brothers and sisters, what they have to, say. That way we can learn more. When you listen more, you will learn a lot of stuff. But when you talk, you don't learn nothing. So I'm encouraging us to look into this technology, the modern day, this current technology that's coming up. Pay attention to it. Don't disregard it. Please pay attention to it. It's very important.
Well, cool, brother. Well, thank you again for joining us, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody joining us. I really do. Thank you, everyone who super chatted. Thank you for super chatting. Make sure you guys go to Search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also go to Search for Huru books.com, amazon.com, name Dynasty Mirror. Please buy a book. Also go to africapersonified.africa. Thank you again, guys. I appreciate the support. I might come back on tonight. I doubt it, but there might be a chance. So at your service. Might cover that in another email. But anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. Josiah, thank you for joining us. You guys enjoy your Sunday evening. Till next time, peace.
Take care, Dennis. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Send me the video.
I will. Yes, sir.
Thank you.